This video is going to talk about how to find the domain and range given a graph. So these graphs are a little bit different because they're not just discrete points that we're looking at. We're looking at all different types of graphs that have infinite number of points on each one. So for the first one here, I'm going to go ahead and label my arrows in the direction that they are moving. So for the first arrow, I'm going to label this one is headed up and also to the left. And this one is headed up and to the right. And this is going to give us an indicator on where our infinity is going. So if it's going up, that's positive infinity. If it's going left, that's going to be negative infinity. And right is positive infinity. So when you look at your domain runs left to right. So for this particular graph, it's going left forever to negative infinity to positive infinity, which would be all real numbers. And that's the point of labeling our arrows, is to kind of get the indicator on where the all real numbers is. So for our domain for this one, I'll just highlight it left to right. So it's going left and also right in both directions forever. And so that means there's no limits on our domain, so it's all real numbers. Now for the range moves up and down. So as you can see on the graph, we labeled up, but we need to find out where the furthest down is going to be. And if you look at the graph, the lowest point on the graph is right here at a positive 4. And since we're going to be talking about the range, we want to make sure we use the y value, so it stops here at 4. So our range for this would be 4 to infinity, or 4, and if you notice everything greater than 4, 5, there's 6, there's 7, 8, 9, and so on both sides. So this is our, when we write it as an inequality, it's going to be y is greater than or equal to a positive 4. Okay, so for this next graph, we'll just do kind of the same thing. Label the arrows. This one's going down and right. This one's going down and left. You can already see that for your domain, left and right, it's continuing in both directions infinitely. So for our for our domain, it's going to be all real numbers. For our range, it's going down forever, but it's only going up to right here, which is at a negative 4. So if I even extend this line to cross over on the y, you can see the highest point on this graph is going to be negative 4. So if I'm looking to write an inequality for this, negative 4, it could be there's negative 5, negative 6, negative 7. All of my numbers are going down, so it's going to be y is less than or equal to negative 4. We're going to do 2 more. These ones are a little bit different. They're both linear. When I go to label the arrow on this graph, it's going right forever and also left forever, but it's not moving up or down at all. So for your domain, it's going to be all real numbers. But when I go to do the range, it's really not going up anywhere. Our range is all going to be on the same line. So for this, the range is just whatever the y value is. And if you look here, every single y value on this line is 5. So the range for this line would be just y equals 5. It doesn't go above 5. It doesn't go below 5. It just sits on the 5. Okay, and the last one is just a straight diagonal line. And this direction on this arrow is going up and to the right. This one's going down and to the left. So when we look at the domain for this graph, which remember goes left and right, and the range goes up and down. Oops. So your domain is right here. It's going to be right and left infinitely. So that's going to be all real numbers. And the range, which goes up and down, is also going to be all real numbers. There are no limits. This line is going to continue to expand in all directions.